Assignment 4, The Swift Programming Language, the Drawing and Animation section by Sadie Sweat, IDM 220. Just a heads up, you guys, you'll probably hear my kids in the background. It is their nap time, and I'm trying to make sure I get this assignment done, so I'm sorry in advance. Section 1, create drawing data for a badge view. In this section, the first thing that I did was create the hexagon parameters Swift file, and in that I created the hexagon parameters, defining a segment, and then creating an array to hold those segments, and then in there adding the data for 6 segments, one for each side of the hexagon, and adjusting the value. Section 2, draw the badge background. So in this section, it's exactly what that title says. I created a new file, the badge background Swift, and then applied a fill modifier to turn the shape into a view. And then from there, I adjusted the starting point, the lines, and then adding a curve method to draw the Bezier curves, and then wrapping that all in the path in a geometry reader so that the badge can use the size. And then I scaled the shape, as well as replacing the background to a gradient to match the design, and then modify the gradient fill by doing the apply aspect ratio. Section 3, draw the badge symbol. So in this section, I navigated the empty app icon folder into my project's assets, and then downloaded it into the resources folder so I could edit it and change it. And then I added a custom view for the badge symbol, and then drawing the top portion similar to how I did the hexagon before, and as well as the bottom portion, and then changing the color to a purplish, and then rotating the symbol. Section 4, combine the badge foreground and background. And in this one, I created a new Swift UI view just called badge. And in that, I placed the badge background into it, and then the symbol on top of it using a Z stack, and then correcting the size, and then organizing the projects into the correct folders. Now we're moving on to the animating views and transition part of the drawing and animation. So in this section 1, add hiking data to the app. In this one, I took the hike data JSON and put it into the resources folder, and then created a new Swift file that was just called hike. And then I loaded all the arrays into that model, as well as dragging the hikes folder from the downloads resources folder into the project view group and organizing it. And then just checking out to see how that graph works next to it. Section 2, add animations to individual views. In this one, I used the hike view file, and then I added that animation modifier, as well as making sure that I change the animation type from ease in out to spring, and then taking off animation modifiers before moving on to the next section. Section 3, animate the effects of state changes. In this section, I applied animations to all the changes, so when a user taps on the button, it shows a different effect. Section 4, customize view transitions. In this section, I was just cleaning up how the graph is viewed by doing a transition modifier, and then making sure that I used the asymmetrical insertion removal to provide different transitions when the view shows up and when it goes away. And finally, section 5, compose animations for complex effects. In this section, I was just tying everything together and fine-tuning the details, whether that was how the graph reacts when pushed on different buttons, whether that is the speed, the color, the movement, things like that.